AR-15. It's in 5.56. It's the standard caliber for AR-15. The brand is LWRC. It's a little bit expensive, but it's a really nice brand. It's a really nice gun, and it's just really nice to shoot. I own several firearms. I own 2 pistols, a shotgun. This is my second rifle. Okay. So it's good to have a little artillery going. It's good to practice. You have to go to the range. Take your friends with you. Like I said, join a gun club. They'll be more than happy to teach you.
Okay. I'd just like to thank y'all so much.
Hey,
yeah,
no problem,
it was nice
man.
to run into you.
It's nice to see other people of different cultures, races, backgrounds. We've seen Vietnamese people here supporting. We've seen Koreans, Russians. There
was somebody here from South Africa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we didn't get to meet them, but on one of our team's live feed this morning.
And back to your question, for me, the Second Amendment is just guaranteeing me my ability to protect my freedom, no matter what comes down the road. You know, do I believe our government's going to turn against us? Maybe not so much a turn in a logical way where people rationalize it as turning against us. Yes. But as long as they're issuing laws that restrict our freedoms, they have essentially already turned against us. Just because they're not locking us up and putting us in furnaces don't mean that they're not turning against us. Yes. They have turned on us.
Well, the red flag laws alone are giving them permission to basically kill you in your own home and try to take your property.
Please speak on the red flag laws.
Oh my God.
Especially for the younger generation. They're not really receptive to the red flag laws.
If you're a young man or you're a young woman, let's say you're still in school and you've got some emotionally traumatizing stuff going on. Mom and dad broke up, something bad happened, and you get to feeling down in your life. You get to feeling like you might be ready to take your own life, and you tell somebody at school about that, that school can now red flag you as a child. Before you're ever even old enough to go out and buy a gun, you have already been red flagged because you have been deemed to be mentally incompetent to have a firearm in your possession. So when you do turn 18, you're going to have to go and beg at a court to get your right to own a weapon back, the same right that you was gifted at birth to be able to defend yourself. Just like every animal in the kingdom of the wild, the lion as nobody ever says the lion can't protect itself, but the man can't protect himself if you've been deemed to be mentally unfit. And with the red flag laws to children is just one aspect. You know, you can get into an argument with your neighbor. You can get into an argument with your ex-girlfriend, your current girlfriend. You can break up with your girl, and she can go straight to the police and say, oh, well, I'm in fear for my life. He has a bunch of guns. And if the red flag law is in place, you'll wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning with the police banging on your door to steal your shit. And if you don't comply with what they say, they'll kill you. Like the man in Baltimore, Maryland was killed.
That happened to a man in Maryland just a few months ago.
They woke the man up at 5:30 in the morning. When they told him they were there to take his guns, he picked up his pistol and they shot him in the head and killed him dead. Right in his own house.
And then they get excused for it. They don't go to jail.
There's no accountability.
You can't go sue them. The police are not your friends. They are an arm of the government. And if you are not monitoring your government, they're going to come after you. And they will be legally protected to do it to you.
Now, does that mean we're anti-police? By no means. I'm not anti-police, but I'm anti-police that will follow unconstitutional laws.
Correct.
If you're going to be a bootlicker and just do as you're told when you know it's wrong, that I have a problem with. That will meet with resistance.
And I just like to thank y'all once again. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Patriot Shit Outfitters, hit it up. That's for you, man.
Thank you.
Today made me for the first time feel hopeful about the future of our rights in this country.
Exactly.
And I feel really blessed to have met you guys and all my fellow Americans here from all over the country. People drove from California.
You too, man. Nice to meet you, man. You too, my man. Nice to meet you, man.
My name's Marcus. This is Michael. We're from. I'm from South Carolina. He's from North Carolina. I quit my job to be here because this was important.
Can you say that again? What you just said about why it's important for the Black community, the Latino community to get involved? Can you please say that
right now? Because it targeted you guys first.
Okay.
And then they aimed it at the rest of us afterwards. Once they realized they could do it with you guys, they realized, oh, we can do this with everybody. We can subjugate everybody.
Okay.
And after that, now that we're trying to kind of take some of this shit back, the media is trying to spin it in a way where it's oh, it's just a bunch of racist white people.
Yes.
It's just white people.
Yes.
And I'm just no. Coleon Noir, Killer Mike, fucking Black Guns Matter. Black Guns Matter was here today. A lot of people in you guys' communities have fallen victim to this brainwashing that you cannot trust a young black man with a firearm. Young black men are in the fucking military.
Come on, man.
And you can't trust them with a firearm?
Come on.
Crazy.
Like, right now, you're being slaughtered by thousands in cities because you can't defend yourselves. And, like, police shootings be one thing, but just your own people fucking killing you in droves. Like, we're from the Carolinas.
Okay, man. Yeah.
We drove up here because this sort of
Nice
shit
to meet
is...
you, man. We from here. We from Richmond.
Yeah, but we showed up for this shit because this same sort of stuff is starting to take root everywhere all over the South, all over the red states, all over the states that are pro-gun. This sort of stuff is taking root because the population centers are turning blue. The majority of the vote is blue because they live in the cities. And because they actually aren't even the majority of the vote. They're just the most visible and vocal because they live in these cities. And it's frustrating because I live out in the country. Like, even in like the worst neighborhoods in a city, maybe 30 minutes before the cops show up. Minimum where I live, it's an hour. So when milliseconds count, for me, cops are miles away. And the people in this city don't understand the life that I live. They don't understand the risks that I have to deal with. I grew up on a farm, like out in the middle of nowhere in the woods. We had to deal with poachers. You know what a poacher is?
Yeah, most definitely.
It is a armed person that is trespassing on your property.
Fact.
So they're already breaking several laws, so they don't give a shit about you. And I have to deal with that. Like, we had to deal with poachers. The game warden was the fastest person to get there, and he was 45 minutes away at least.
Wow.
So this idea that we can have a tenable society without legal access to the best means of protection available, it's so untenable that it's bordering on like retardation.
Fact.
It shows like a level of mental incompetence.
Yes, it does.
That is extremely concerning, particularly for a public official. It's like you can't fucking criticize your own thoughts enough to like maybe think, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this because it'll affect everyone in the state, including people that don't live the same life that I do and might not have the same needs. And like I have friends in Chicago. I went to visit them not too long ago. The whole state of Illinois has gotten so bad.
Yes, it has.
And the whole reason, like, because I met an old person while I was there, like a guy who remembers before all that shit went sideways, back when, like, it was a manufacturing city that was run by Republicans. Like, not to make this a Republican-Democrat thing, because that's bullshit. We've had Republicans flip to go to the anti-gun side. But this is why I think I'm really proud right now. Today, like, I've never really understood the appeal of the term patriot when it came to the pro-gun movement. But after today, I get it. Everything went really smoothly. Everyone was really calm.
After the media tried to, they tried to throw their little, they tried to throw their little deceit in it to try to get people.
I would like to see, and today gave me hope, is that just like a lot of I guess you would say the Caucasian demographic, I'm looking forward to more Hispanics, Asians, and African American voters becoming one-issue voters. This is our line in the sand. This is where it stops. This is where it starts. We will vote about this.
Exactly.
Because without this, none of our other rights matter.
None. Period.
Like, these people have been great today, but without that, I don't know if I can trust them. Like, I've, over the course of my life, living out in the middle of nowhere, because they have to trespass in order to get to our front door. I've interacted with cops not serving warrants to come onto our property before. Because I live down a mile-long driveway. And, like, we have a gate at the front of our driveway. I've interacted with cops that jumped over our fucking gate.
Wow. In your property.
But what I've started doing is, like, we've made one big stride today, and that was that the media is probably only took photos of white people, but I saw the vast quantities of color, like vast amounts of color that was in this crowd.
Yes, yeah, and they tried to say that we didn't show up, but I seen it also.
And it makes me really proud to know that we're not isolating ourselves as a group.
Right.
We're becoming, like, not that we ever should have been not okay with it, but we're finally becoming okay with other people having firearms.
Exactly.
Because we've come to the realization that it's not about us not being able to trust each other, it's about us not being able to trust them.
Yeah.
Like, not being able to trust people like Northam or the police or whatever.
Exactly.
And it's all coming to a head, and as voters, we have an obligation to draw a line in the sand, and I believe that should be the Second Amendment, regardless of skin color, armed equality was here today. The gay rights group that specifically focuses on Second Amendment rights.
Yeah.
I think no matter your community, no matter your demographic, no matter your ethnicity, you should be a one-issue voter in regards to the Second Amendment.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
It doesn't matter, like, what, like, party they're with. It doesn't matter what, like how crass they are as an individual. Like, I don't like Trump right now because he did the bump stock ban shit. And
Yeah,
he also
did.
He was the one who created the concept of red flag laws.
Yes, he did.
He almost got silencers out right now.
Yeah.
Even though they're not silencers, they're suppressors.
Yeah.
They just make it so you don't have to wear ear protection when you're shooting your gun. It's polite to your neighbors to shoot with a suppressor. Some of us just totally didn't agree on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
This was the one thing. This was the line in the sand that were like, okay, everybody's on the same page. This is bullshit.
Exactly.
They don't want us to talk about things eloquently. They want us to get angry. They want us to show our ass. We like showed some really dark humor, like somebody brought a fucking guillotine. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like the motto of Virginia, "Sic semper tyrannis." Like,